Okay, before I start, this is really funny. I was just started doing my video. My mom came in here and the fire alarms have been going off all day. They're doing a lot of construction here at the adding on, and they're redoing a lot of the kitchens and everything. They like hit a water line or something out in the main lobby, and I guess water is just gushing everywhere. So when that happens, they shut the water off. Well, hi, I'm still on 24-hour fluid, so I pee like at least 5 times a night. Like I can't be going outside to a porta potty 5 times in the middle of the night. So this will be funny, but whatever. We'll see what happens with that. So anyways, today is day plus 36, and I haven't posted for a while, I think since day plus 32. There just isn't much to say, and I feel bad like posting video just being like, hey, I'm not doing anything, what are you doing? You know, like I just don't have anything to say, which is good. So today will be for day 33, 34, 35, and today 36. Yesterday I had my appointment at the clinic. Oh my gosh, the fire trucks just showed up. That's funny. Okay. Anyways, I had my appointment at the clinic. I am getting IVIG tomorrow, so I'll be at the clinic pretty much all day. I'm guessing it's going to take around 5 hours to get the infusion. It's really, really slow. But my IgG level, which helps fight off some of my viruses and things like that, is just getting a little bit too low. So they're going to give me this, and these type of infusions last hopefully 2 to 3 weeks. It's just so hard. I mean, in a perfect world, I would get them all the time just until I have an immune system. But like I said in one of my other videos, it's really hard to get because the actual infusion is made up of over 10,000 donors. And it's really expensive. And, you know, it's not ideal to be, you know, it's never ideal to be always getting infusions of things. But, you know, it's just the way it goes. But I do actually need it now, so I'll be getting that tomorrow. Hopefully I will keep myself occupied. The clinic's a little bit smaller, so I think I'm going to bring some crocheting stuff or movies. I don't know. I'm still working on all the Friends season I'm on. I made it to season 6. Of course, yeah, like I said before, I've seen every episode, but I'm still going through them. So this video, I'm actually going to do my IV meds and changing my IV hydration backpack. I know I've said it, that I'm going to do that for so long, and I haven't. And now I just don't really have any reason not to, so I'm going to do that. First things first, hand sanitizer, or wash your hands is ideal. But I wash my hands like a million times a day and my hands get so dry, so sometimes I like hand sanitizer. And then I have, and I'm doing my Micafungin right now, which is my antifungal IV medication, and I have my IV acyclovir, which is the exact same little container like this, and it's done the exact same way, so I'll just do my Micafungin. I'll just show you that. I'll hang that one first since I'm about right on time for that one to be due. Okay, so these come with the little cord tubing wrapped around the top, and it's just a little ball inside there, and it just goes by pressure, so it's really nice. Last time I had to hang my meds actually on a little IV pole that I had to carry around, so these are really nice. I can just carry them however I want, so I love that. And the tubing isn't primed, so all that's in here is air. So if I hook this up to my IV right now, and opened it and opened the tubing with this, I would be injecting a lot of air into my veins, which is not ideal. So I need to prime the tubing, and the only way I do that is I just open the tubing and take off the cap, and then I try to find wherever the ending is or wait until something starts coming out the end. Okay, so when it gets up to the top, I usually screw on the top first and close it up again, and then just set it aside. So for this, I need 2 saline syringes and a heparin syringe. And these are empty, and these ones are pre-filled. And these syringes, actually, they don't have needles on them. They just screw onto the tops of my caps, which is also really nice. So first, I will take out a saline syringe. And you always need to pop the top on them first. They always have a bubble on the top, so you pull back on it. You pull down to get a bunch of bubbles, and then, or to get a big air bubble on top. And to get the air bubble out, just lose a couple drops, put the cap back on. And then I take out my handy dandy alcohol swabs. You can never have too many of those. Those become your best friend. Okay, so they draw out of my red lumen all the time. This is where I get blood products. This is where they draw my blood from all the time. So I do not put medication in there. It wouldn't hurt if I did, but I'd just rather not. I'd rather this strictly be for blood. And that's what they prefer too. And I always have my hydrations running in my gray lumen. And then I do my medications in my white lumen. So I take this, and this is how I do it every day. My hand's gotten pretty flexible to be able to do this now. Scrub the top of my cap, and of course sing happy birthday to myself. Because that's how long you're supposed to scrub it. That's what you're supposed to do when you wash your hands too, in case you didn't know. I should always be hearing people singing happy birthday to themselves when they're washing their hands. Okay, so then of course let it dry. When I let it dry, I'd have to wipe the cap off of the saline. That's probably not ideal, but I don't have another hand, so that's just what I do. And I screw it onto my cap like that. And I always open my clamp on my line. I have clamps at the end of them. And I inject. It's just saline, so it's nothing exciting. It's just salt water. Take that off. Bring over my micafungin ending, and I still keep it closed, of course. Bite off the cap, and screw this one on too. Then once I get everything screwed on, open up my line, and now my micafungin running. Pretty neat. Oh, I knew that was... Well, that was interesting. Fire alarms went off for the 3rd time. Turns out there was like 200-degree water like gushing out of the ceiling and kind of all over the floor. So that's interesting. I don't really know what's going on, so I just came back to my room because I am no help to them. So, alright, where was I? At the end of my, I will show you how to do this too. At the end of my micafungin, I have to do one more flush of saline. So I get my saline already, and then I have to do vancoheparin. Vancoheparin is to prevent the line from clotting. And so I have to open my syringe, but not all the way. Open it like this, just has an opening on the top, so I'll need to put it back in there because those are empty, they don't come filled. So I have my little heparin vial, and to do this, I open another alcohol swab, swab the top of it. Happy birthday to myself. I don't really know if I'm doing it long enough right now because of course I'm not singing out loud like I usually do. I am usually pretty vigorous with it though because I don't want any germs getting injected into my line. Okay, so I clean that off, and then I take out my empty syringe, and I need 3 to 5 mils of this heparin, so I always just pull it down. I fill it with air to 5, and then you screw this on the top of the vial, flip it upside down, and you push all that air in, and that pressure will allow the heparin to come out. It'll kind of push it out for you. And this is right at the end of this one, so I got about 3.5, so that's good. I got enough out of the vial. And then of course I get that ready, I get all the air out. And then until I use it, I put it back in here. So it's sterile for the next time I use it. But I still will use an alcohol swab after I take my micafungin off. I'll alcohol swab this again, do my saline, do my vancomycin, and then I'll clamp it off. But I actually do my acyclovir right afterwards. So I probably don't technically need to do the heparin right afterwards, but I just do it because I'm a little OCD, and that's just part of the routine that you're supposed to do. So yeah, that's the same exact thing as when I'm doing my acyclovir. It's the saline, I prime the tubing, hook it up. Micafungin takes usually about an hour and a half because it's usually colder. Acyclovir you store at room temp. So acyclovir goes in over about an hour. Then flush it with saline again and heparin and close it off and you're good to go. And now for my backpack, changing this. I hate changing my backpack, to be honest. It's the worst. I absolutely hate it. It's annoying. But oh well. I don't have to have it forever, so I can't really complain. Oh, I lost my... Okay, so for this, you need a quarter. Or a penny. Something. And I'm just about out of my fluid right now, so... Okay, so I stop my pump, unscrew my line, so now I'm free from my backpack, which is one of the best feelings ever. Here, I suppose I can move this down so you can see what I'm doing. I have to keep this quarter because I'll have to use that to get my tubing off of my little pump. So this is my pump. And I'll take my quarter, and my tubing is attached at the bottom right here. And I take my quarter and screw it off. Falls out. And then I unvelcro my backpack. And get this. So this is my old fluid bag. It does still have fluid in the bottom of it, but they always overfill it anyways. So it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Now I gotta get my whole tangle of tubing out. I'll just set that over here. So for this, I need my new tubing and my new and cold hydration pack because I forgot to take it out of the fridge. So what I always do first is just plop this sucker. It's about the size of a baby. About as heavy as a baby too. Plop that in there and have a little strap to make sure it doesn't go anywhere it's not supposed to. And then Velcro it in. It is kind of like putting a kid in a car seat, actually. That's what I feel like when I'm doing it anyways. Alright, so my tubing is sterile. It's on sterile packaging. So I open that. Take that off. I always try to these come in like little coils. And of course when I'm sleeping I want the most length I can get. So every time I take it out of a bag, I always stretch it out. So it doesn't coil and get kinked first of all. And then so I can get enough length to actually set it on the floor when I sleep. Okay. So now at the bottom of maybe I'll just go like this. Maybe this will be easier. At the bottom of my bag right here, these are ones I don't use, but I take the top off of this. So now my bag is, I guess, considered no longer sterile. And then take the cap off of my tubing. And I have to poke this into my bag of fluid. And it's usually really hard, but okay, just enough so fluid will go through it. And then move over my pump. And I'll take this part of my tubing and latch it on. Let's see, grab my quarter again. And I'll latch it onto the bottom right here. It has little grooves that you put it into. And then I put it on there and then screw it on with my quarter. Now it's beeping at me that it's ready, or that it recognizes that I put a new pack on. So then when I get that on, I always leave. It has a cap at the end. Always leave the cap on. Always have a cap on the end of my tubing when it's not connected to me, so germs don't get inside there and anything else gross that can, which would be more germs. Alright, so then I reset it to my new volume. Resetting, and then here's the worst part. I have to prime the whole tubing, which is not as easy as priming my MicFunction and Acyclovir one. I have to sit here and hold this button, and it slowly primes my whole tubing. Yes, my thumb does cramp, and yes, it does take forever, and I hate it, because when I'm tired and I just want to go to bed, I have to sit here and prime my tubing for my backpack. I'm such a complainer. Oh well. And then that happens. So that is the sound you hear when my cord gets kinked in the middle of the night. So usually I just have to shake my arm and get it readjusted and get it unkinked and it'll go away. This fun noise has been happening with this pump for some reason when I have my battery pack connected. So when I have this connected to it, which this is like, this battery lasts about 12 hours. When I have that connected, it has a 9-volt battery in here too, but when this is connected, something gets messed up in my pump where it says upstream occlusion and it beeps like that for so long, just when I'm doing nothing. So it'll happen in the middle of the night, and the only way to stop it is when it's running, I have to stop my pump, and then I have to wait, and then I have to start it again, and I have to wait, and it'll go through the whole thing, and then I can go back to sleep, but it'll do it like in the middle of nowhere. It's usually when I'm walking through public places and people think that I'm going to explode or that something very, very wrong is happening with me, or because they assume that I am very ill. It's the bald head. And they assume that something very serious is happening because I usually just get so annoyed that I just keep walking and just let it beep because I know it's just going to do it again. So people kind of look at me like, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. I am okay. It's just really annoying and I get really angry with it. Okay, so I just unhooked my battery pack. For some reason, when it's only the 9-volt battery, it does fine. So then I continue to prime my tubing. Okay, finally done priming my tubing. Awesome. So now before I hook this up, I need a saline flush. I probably don't need to do a saline flush considering that my backpack is connected 24 hours a day, so it constantly has stuff running through it. So I never use Vanco-Heparin on my backpacks. Once I get down to either 18 or 12 hours, every time I'm done, I'll be needing to flush with saline and Vanco-Heparin, just like my other medications. But for now, I don't do anything. I always just, right before I hook it up, I always just do a saline flush just to make sure my line's open and everything, and to clean off my cap as well. So scrub that, scrub that. Happy birthday to myself once again. Probably looks super awesome when I take that off with my teeth. I'm so paranoid. I use a different alcohol swab now. Just to swab it one more time. I probably don't need to. Now that I feel like I have people watching me, I need to be extra clean. Okay, so just take it off my mouth. And then I just screw my tubing on. Spit that out. Alright, and then continue priming. No. Start the pump. Yes. And then it'll go through everything. And then I have my pump ready. And that is what I do every night around 8 o'clock. So every night around 8 o'clock, if you happen to notice the time, just know that that's what I'm doing. And every morning at 9 too, I guess, minus my backpack. So at 8 and 9 at night, and then 9 in the morning. So that's what I do. And now I'm set. Carry my backpack around. Carry my little jar or whatever this would be called, container around. And I'm good to go. And then I clean up my mess that I make. I literally leave empty syringes, empty tubing things, they're everywhere. It drives me nuts. We go through so much garbage because there's constantly syringes and alcohol swabs and whatever else laying everywhere, but that's fine. So, yeah, probably post tomorrow after I get my IVIG, just to make sure everything went okay and see what my counts are too. My counts, I guess, well, they haven't really changed, but my white count is 3.1, and I know it was a 3.8 earlier, but it can definitely fluctuate. At first I was like, why is it 3.1? But my absolute neutrophil count, my ANC, is higher still. It's still going up. So obviously they're not worried. It's just that my total white blood count can really fluctuate. And they definitely tend to see in the 3s for some reason. It kind of plateaus for a little bit. So I'm okay with that. It can definitely take a lot of time to normalize counts again. My platelets did go up to 145. I'm happy with that. Hemoglobin's about the same at 8.5. My retics or reticulocytes or baby red cells are also elevated, which is good because it recognizes that my hemoglobin is a little lower and it is producing more red cells. It just takes a little bit longer for that to show up. So I think that's all I have to do tonight besides take my other meds that I got going on here. A double pill box, which is thinning a little bit actually. I got taken off some of my other medications that just from stomach pain that I had in the hospital. They had to wean off really slowly, and so now I'm off a couple of those, so I actually have less pills, which is great too. So I'm doing good, and I will post tomorrow.